Fascinating. Danny, do you see this as the real Super Bowl?
Yes, I do. I think these are the two best teams in the NFL. I think they've been the two best teams in the NFL. I take my top 10 Tuesday responsibilities way too seriously, which is why I was so hurt by the breaking news of John Harbaugh a couple weeks ago that canceled top 10
still
Tuesday.
bitter about this. Yeah.
No, but like
Let it go, young man.
I'll let it go eventually. I'll get over it. But no, I've had these two teams as the top two teams in the 7 consecutive weeks, like leading into the playoffs. I said it ahead of the Week 16 game that was going to be the best, Thursday night game. I said that if the Bears were not in the NFC Championship, I wanted it to be a rematch of these two teams. Like, I think it's just pretty obvious that they're the best. We can show some numbers that I think make the case like pretty ironclad. They blow people out more than anyone else. They score more points than anyone else. I don't know what other measurement, and we'll get to it in a second, that you have for it, but they'll both be like a 3 or 4 point favorite over the Patriots. So obviously underdogs win all the time in the Super Bowl, so it's possible. But I just think it's been apparent pretty much all year, wire to wire, that these are the two best teams.
No.
Okay.
This is not the real Super Bowl. The real Super Bowl will happen in a few weeks.
Nailed it. You crushed that, dude.
But you touched on it. No, you touched on it. I'm saying, this question is, you should be ticked off. This is insulting to the Patriots and to the Broncos. And we have seen so many upsets in the NFL Super Bowl that why in the world will we say this is the real Super Bowl?
It's just Danny.
Nobody thought that your undefeated Patriots could lose to freaking Eli Manning and the New York Giants.
Very true. I wouldn't have used that example as upset.
And I'm going cross sport. I thought, when I was young like you two, I thought that the Lakers and the Spurs in 2004 in the Western Conference Finals was the real real NBA Finals. Yeah. And it turns out Detroit beat them in 5. And so it is not the real Super Bowl. You never know what will happen in the Super Bowl. And furthermore, I think New England, I think there's an argument that they're right there with the Rams and the Seahawks.
So that's the piece of it.
Now, Denver, okay, but the Patriots for sure.
I disagree with you on the last piece. I agree with Danny. These are the two best teams. It doesn't mean there wouldn't be an upset. But the reason I don't use the comp of 07 or I think 04 Western Conference Finals is a great example. Because 07 it was, the undefeated Patriots, I don't think people looked at, I don't even remember, who was that AFC Championship game against? Was it against Phillip Rivers and the Chargers?
Right, I get what you're saying, but there have been several times where you think this conference championship is what it's all about, and then that team loses.
Times that jump out to me, like I remember being a little kid in the 90s, and it felt like Cowboys-Niners on Fox in the conference championship game was the Super Bowl. And it was. And it was. And it wasn't because the other teams on the other side of the bracket were, bad teams. Mm-hmm. It was just that it felt over the course of the season that these two teams have distinguished themselves. That's how I also felt about the Rams and the Seahawks. The fact that on the other side of the bracket, the other 1 seed just had their quarterback break his ankle makes it even more so. And so, that is a piece of it. Now, if this feels dismissive of the Patriots, I don't mean it to. I think that the other proof of concept of the single best game played in the NFL all year arguably was relatively recently between these two teams. And it came down to a 2-point conversion in overtime.
It was the best because it was the best TV product, but that didn't prove to me that the scary Seahawks defense that's given up 460 yards is all of a sudden the best game.
Well, I guess what I would argue is I think we all agree, I think, that the Seahawks do have an excellent defense.
Yes.
And so the fact that the Rams were able to put up that performance against that defense. And we all went into that game saying, is Darnold going to go pumpkin? He did, and then he pulled himself out of it at the end. It just, to me, feels like the whole season's been leading up to this.
I don't think the Rams have looked all season like the best team or the second best team even. Now, they may win the Super Bowl, and I might even pick them, but I'm saying they lost to Carolina and then proved in the playoffs it wasn't a fluke. Like, Carolina almost beat them in the playoffs. They barely beat Chicago last week. Like, I get that Matthew Stafford is great, but they haven't looked anything like a juggernaut for weeks.
No, not like a team like getting like double-digit victories in the playoffs.
Do you have an example of one?
There is only one.
There's only one. I think also just the strength of schedule piece of it too I can't really shake it with the Patriots. And then the Rams have just played the toughest schedule, and it's kind of like the Stafford-Drake May MVP argument reflected in these teams. And then we know that Seattle's also been tested a lot in the NFC West. So I just think these teams have been battle-tested, and the winner of the game is going to win the Super Bowl.
So if the Patriots win the Super Bowl, are we setting up like, you know
Had
what?
to go through Jarrett Stidham.
No Charbonnet. Like,
No,
you
see,
know.
can I?
Yeah,
well, that's
I've seen it happen against the Chargers defense and the Texans. Like, the Texans defense was this unbelievable defense. Drake May drops the ball a few times. Like,
Hold on, KW, hold on a second. I feel like you are trying to, like, cause an argument on something that you don't actually, in your core, feel.
I see it coming down the road.
So two things. One is, you're right around 50, right? 47
I'd
to 52?
say that I'm 50, but
Yeah,
I'm not 50.
few
I
years
feel
something
50
like that.
sometimes, but a young 50.
Is there a single Super Bowl champion in your lifetime that is discredited? No, there is not.
I personally, I quietly discredit a few.
Okay, so there isn't. So you don't have to worry about anybody retroactively being like, that wasn't a real, that doesn't
this
happen.
will be real.
That's first of all. Second,
The Eagles, the field.
the Chiefs over the Eagles. Second of all, you've been on TV talking football too long to where America knows your opinions, to where you can't now all of a sudden act like you feel like 4 fumbles in a game is dropped the ball a couple times. You can't that's not how you.
He's been dropping the ball a few times.
And so like that is people aren't like creating straw men about Drake May's performance these playoffs when they say he has had moments of excellence and also had more moments of trepidation than at any point in the regular season.
The only thing I'm pushing back against is it feels like when we previewing the Patriots games, we have people all over the spectrum picking against the Patriots. And then the Patriots win moderately easily. And then it's, but we see shows go across the board Texans. And it's like, C.J. Stroud, if you had anybody else in there. And it's another excuse. And now it's going to be the same. People are like, watch, this week it'll be Stidham, the defense, the crowd noise, Drake May on the road, and then Patriots are going to easily dismantle the Broncos. I'm like, nah.
But you think they didn't easily beat the Texans.
But so here is what is true.
It was a double-digit victory.
It wasn't an easy victory.
I mean, it took the amazing booty catch to put the game away, despite CJ's 4 turnovers. But
that was a good game.
Here's what I do.
It was a double-digit victory.
It was certainly
It was a double-digit victory by definition.
It was the second easiest win of the weekend. There's no doubt about that.
It wasn't Seahawks 49ers, but it was.
Here is what will happen.
They covered.
Here's what will happen. If you guys make the Super Bowl and get clocked, everything you're worried about will occur. People will discredit your path to the Super Bowl. That will happen. But if you make the and if you lose this weekend, people will discredit your path because you lost Jarrett Stidham. But if you win the Super Bowl, which you think you will, none of it matters. You're the champions, and people call Drake May the best player in the league. So it's a big swing here for you the next few weeks, but you just got to win.
I feel good about that.
Just go win.
Mike McDaniel's eyeing the Chargers OC job.
Yeah.
If he doesn't land a head coaching job, Danny. In the words of Brew, I'm guessing you don't like this. You love it. What impact does this have on Justin Herbert?
A massive one. Listen, my coach and my quarterback are Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, but my second quarterback is Justin Herbert, and Nick will tell you, this is my second coach.
He loves guys like this.
Love him. I mean, Kyle Shanahan said that Mike McDaniel's offense is innovative and that he steals from him. He is one of the truly bright offensive minds in football. He is a guy who had the #1 offense in the sport 2 years ago with Tua, who since basically is the league leader in throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage. Like, Tua is limited, and Justin Herbert has struggled in the playoffs, but I think we all agree his talent is limitless.
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle help. It wasn't just like...
No question about it. But
the system,
the idea,
and even the running game.
Tua looked terrible before Mike McDaniel got there. Mike McDaniel got there. Tua became a legitimate player for a period of time. Yes, with excellent wide receivers. You guys like when I make guarantees? I'll make some guarantees. An offense with Justin Herbert, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, and Mike McDaniel calling the plays, I guarantee will be a top 10 offense in the league next year, and I will be very disappointed if they're not a top 5 offense in the league next year. I expect greatness from this pairing.
Let me ask you a question.
I thought you'd go a little further.
Yeah,
I
guarantee there'll be a top 3rd offense. They've got one of the. Danny thinks they have a top 10 all-time talent at quarterback.
Top 10 offense.
I guarantee there'll be a.
Hold on a second.
Top 10.
Wow.
That's not top 5's not enough.
No,
You said top 10.
Here's what I would like.
Josh, who's the 10th best offense?
Hold on a second.
Here's
Guys,
what I
this
would
is
like.
outrage.
I want to tell you what I
better
would
be
like.
top 10.
You want
My
a top 10? You want? Yeah, of course they better be top 10. You think Herbert is a top 5 quarterback? You love Mike McDaniel. They're gonna have their offensive lineman back.
That's pretty
Here's
good,
a question. But since you just so dismissed Tua, same draft class, similar accomplishments as Herbert, and it's like and Herbert's talent, I think you called it limitless. Like limitless.
Talent is limitless.
Okay, got it. Bradley Cooper movie.
Underrated.
At any point in this pairing, will Herbert do with Mike McDaniel what Tua did? Lead the league in yards and top two in yards and points.
Yeah.
Can they do that?
Sure, they can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, they can do that.
Now that's a guarantee.
The Chargers also have top 5 cap position this year.
22nd pick.
They got 22nd pick. Wilds is coming on board.
I'll guarantee you something.
Have you seen the opponents?
The schedule stuff.
I'm going to give you a real guarantee.
Go.
If your boy doesn't get it done in the playoffs going forward, he will be to blame. It won't be Mike McDaniel. It won't be Jim Harbaugh. It will be Justin Herbert. And I love his talent just like you. And he gets it done in the regular season.
Kind of.
But in the playoffs, he just hasn't. And the excuses are gone.
What?
Well, I'll
The
just say this,
excuses are gone. Great head coach, great offensive play caller. It's on you, Justin.
The actions of Mike McDaniel here seem to back up what I think about Justin Herbert. He could have coordinated Baker Mayfield's offense.
Well, he's better than Baker Mayfield.
Okay, could have worked with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown and
That's
Devontae
been a
Smith.
terrible job for people. People get fired there all the time. And big shocker, Mike McDaniel wanted to live back in L.A.
Correct.
You're back on the West Coast.
Pretty sweet, dude.
I mean,
it seems like a good place to be a millionaire.
all right, I know we have to get to pack stats, but I want Danny to be on the record with something that will just enrage this side of the table.
You're a bully.
If during the interview Mike McDaniel said, listen, I'd love to work with Justin Herbert. I've dreamed of working with a quarterback like this.
Here we go.
However, I'm not interviewing for your offensive coordinator position. I'm interviewing to be your head coach.
Hire him.
And you
Over Harbaugh?
would you have fired Harbaugh to hire Mike McDaniel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it. The guy loves his offensive whiskins.
Need a play caller.
He loves his offensive
Modernize
whiskins.
your offense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was
Defenses,
what
Danny,
happened,
before we
huh?
get to pack stats.
We're
Broncos,
at
Seahawks, Ravens, Broncos, Patriots,
Doesn't
Texans.
matter. They've got They've got Bradley Cooper
That's
on
not
those
going to work.
pills
But
playing
that's not
quarterback.
going to work. That's why I was nervous about it. Danny is making stats cool.
I got some
In a
cool
fresh
ones for you
edition
guys.
of Pack Stats, a.k.a. Cool Stats.
I got the coolest stats, the coolest briefcase,
Yeah,
the coolest gloves.
Those are sweet gloves.
They are the sweetest gloves. I figured out how
The
to put them on
gloves
and
slow
everything.
the segment down a hair.
But they're worth it.
They are worth it. Can I get a close up of the gloves, please? Yeah, I mean, these are the coolest.
Okay.
You guys know what else is cool?
What?
Insurance. It's true. Got to have backup plan. And that's what Jarrett Stidham is. He's a backup plan, but he doesn't need to be that good. This is the Broncos' passer rating this season. The whole thing, 87. That's their passer rating. The lowest ever for a team to win 12 or more games since, I should have said ever, since the 2015 Broncos.
Huh.
That team that was carried, Peyton Manning, obviously. So they got to the 1 seed. They've made it to the AFC Championship game with, in the aggregate, below average quarterback play. That's all Jarrett Stidham needs to do. Have a passer rating of 88.
Yes, I feel like it is.
Isn't his career passer rating is 78?
For Stidham?
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, in a very, very small sample. My point here is obviously
I hear you.
they don't need great quarterback play to win. So just play a clean game. That's basically what they've done all year, which got them to the 1 seed.
Yeah, it feels, here's what I would say, and I think everyone would agree on this. There's 4 teams playing this weekend. For 2 of them, the quarterback breaking his ankle, we all would have agreed 100% ends their year. The Rams and the Pats.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for the other 2, the 1 seeds with the great defenses, whose quarterbacks in different ways at various times this year have been excellent and at times struggled, if you had a veteran backup quarterback you trust, you'd be like, maybe they can do just enough, play clean football, and the defense can carry them in Seahawks and Broncos. I do feel that way, even though Bo Nix is coming off, I think, best game of his career.
Sorry, Jimmy G can't win the Super Bowl? I've seen him in the Super Bowl.
Hadn't won now.
Wow, hey, he's there. That was cool, man.
Thank you. Would you like to know what else is cool?
I would love to.
All right, good. I'm glad you asked. Perseverance is cool. Sometimes you got to overcome a little adversity.
Yeah.
Self-inflicted wounds. That's what Wilds' Patriots have been doing these whole playoffs.
Just because they dropped the ball a couple times?
Well, we'll get to the dropping of the ball. To be sacked 10 or more times, but win each of your first 2 playoff games, Drake May and Joe Burrow. But what did Joe Burrow do? He made it to the Super Bowl, had perseverance.
And lost to Matt Stafford and the Rams. Oh, my.
A little bit of a theme. But, Nick, you've been mentioning dropping the ball. That's not good. Quarterbacks with 5 or more turnovers who won their first 2 playoff games. Peyton Manning and Kurt Warner both won the Super Bowl. So they're making mistakes, but winning is actually not a terrible sign.
Hold on, let me do something on behalf of my firm KW. Wilds is very upset that Drake May is the first player in league history to have an interception on their resume that was an end of half Hail Mary and thinks it shouldn't count.
Oh, we're taking away interceptions that aren't on the quarterback now? Caleb Williams threw 0 this year.
End of
half Hail Mary.
It's an NFL version of the heave rule. It should not count against the shooting percentage.
I
it should
agree.
be a team interception.
But
I agree.
Whether when you fumble the ball and you're not the one who recovers it, it should be as negative as whether your offensive lineman recovers it or a defensive lineman recovers it. It should, and by that same methodology, they should be considered the same, and they're not, because fumbles lost is all that count for turnovers.
Right.
So like if he had there were 4 times in that game he put the ball on the ground, anyone could have gotten it. He only ended up with 3 turnovers in the game. The pick is very unlucky, no doubt about it. But
This was the only legit one that is his fault.
oh wait, he had 2 picks in the game or 1?
Just one.
One. No, he had a
One
pick in
against
the
the Chargers.
one against Chargers. Yeah. So
That was cool, dude.
Thanks, man.
Very cool.
But whenever Bruce signs off on the coolness of it, I know it did it. You're going to like this one too, bro. You guys know what else is cool?
what?
Thank you, Nick. Deja vu.
It is kind of scary.
It's a glitch in the Matrix, deja vu.
Yeah. I've heard
The Legion of Boom is back. What? Yeah. Seahawks points per game allowed against playoff teams, 15.8. Fewest by any team since the 2013 Seahawks. The Legion of Boom. And you're like, well, that's just one stat.
Yeah.
Points per game. There's no way. That's a historic defense. I don't know. Let's put the 2025 Seahawks through 18 games up against one of the greatest defenses of all time. Points. Okay, 2 more a game. That's legit. That's something. Yards, identical.
So the yards are identical to the 10th of a yard?
Correct.
That's pretty good.
Sacks, this team, 2 more. They've allowed 2 more passing touchdowns, and they have the same number of blowout wins. Go Seahawks, Legion of Boom, part 2.
The Seahawks won the Super Bowl by annihilating Denver.
Yeah.
We got a lot of. So we have like a
Yep.
Patriots-Rams Super Bowl that's a pack stat too about the sacks. We have a Seahawks.
We consider
Broncos.
doing an all callbacks to the last time these teams won the Super Bowl edition of Pack Stats, but Maybe next week.
I think the audience probably doesn't.
Danny, that
know
was
about
cool.
The things you considered doing.
Real cool.
I like that. No, I like
It's
it.
probably just for the
You know what's cool?
production.
I'll handle the cool stuff.
Yeah, that's right. That was cool, Danny. You got any other cool stuff?
No, those were the three.
are the
Brew, did
three.
you like the
I
Legion
like
of
it.
Doom
I thought
comment?
it was cool.
Okay.
All of it was cool.
God, I love Brew during this segment and all the time.
All right. Coming up next, another cool segment.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the OT. We go to Buffalo, where the Bills owner, Terry Pegula, and their general manager, Brandon Beane, they did an end-of-season press conference. And it was a lot. They talked about firing Sean McDermott. They noted the decision was in the locker room after the loss, how that whole scene went down. Also, letting Sean go was the right move over Brandon Beane. There were some questions about that. Also, they put the decision to draft Keon Coleman on the coaching staff, not the front office. Okay. There was a lot there. Coach, you've dealt with ownership very directly in multiple stops, obviously. How dysfunctional did today make the Bills look?
Well, I love when owners do press conferences because it gives you some insight into the challenges that you have, you can have with that situation. And there are so many different things that come up with executives and successes and failures, but they're not immediately acted upon typically, and they're not scrutinized by everybody. And when you look at this ownership group, it seems like they're going to be even more involved now than they were. And remember, the Bills, prior to Sean taking over, had, a 15, 16, 17-year playoff, some incredible playoff drought. And to put that in perspective, when this group took over the Buffalo Sabres, there was a lot of excitement. But since then, they've got a 14-season playoff drought and an 18-season playoff win drought, okay? And they fired 6 head coaches and 4 GMs. So you went from an organization that has had stability, won, 5 AFC championships in a row, went to the playoffs multiple years, broke a terrible drought that was there in place, and that decision was made in the emotion of a playoff loss, not 2 or 3 days later when all that emotion has been taken out of it, and you really look at it objectively and say, is this the best thing for our billion-dollar corporation and our MVP quarterback? Do we need to make a change, or should we stay the course?
Yeah, it feels impulsive, and I agree with Coach. If you're the owner, you're looking at Josh Allen crying, right? You're looking at multiple guys who really felt like they were destined to win the Super Bowl solely because of Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes and all these elite quarterbacks weren't in their way. And then you lose a game where you felt like you should have won, nevertheless. And not only do you fire your head coach, but they also let go of their offensive line coach. Like, Aaron Cromer is a damn good offensive line coach. He was a huge part of why they had so much success on the ground with James Cook. And so you talk about dysfunction, you're not only losing Sean McDermott, who I do like, by the way, but you're losing other guys who really who was able to steady the ship during rough times through the season. You was able to come out on the other side. I just don't like, to Coach's point, like a lot of emotions to leave the building, reset, calculate what you have, then move forward. You still have an MVP quarterback waiting for you. You have a roster right now who is competitive enough to win the division. Like you don't make those moves in that moment. And so it felt like a guy who was more caught up in the moment than everybody who actually played in the damn game.
I was blown away by it today. Because I said before the playoff game that if they lost a high-scoring game that I thought that McDermott could be on the hot seat. So I was not surprised by McDermott's firing because of all of the opportunities in the playoffs and falling short of the ultimate goal. But I never would have thought it was because of like that one game. Like they didn't lose that game because of coaching. But they had all of those turnovers.
But he also says in the same press conference that was a catch.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to say.
Yeah, right.
So he doesn't even
catch.
think they should have lost the game.
Right. No.
But he fired the coach because the team was emotional after a game they lost that they should have won. And also, on Keon Coleman, I know that Bills fans are very frustrated with Keon Coleman and that he has had lapses in focus and all that stuff. He is a very talented player. Like the player, he was the first pick of the second round. Mm-hmm. They talk about him like he was a top 5 pick bust. The guy picked before him, Xavier Legette, a receiver, hasn't been amazing. Guy picked 4 after him, Jalen Polk, a receiver. He has 12 career catches. Keon Coleman caught a touchdown pass in the playoff game 5 days ago. Like he's not a bad player. He's a 22-year-old who has seemingly dealt with like
needs to grow up.
Yeah, needs to grow up a little bit. And for them to say like No, that pick was on the coaching staff and Twitter to solve that mystery and debunk that lie within 2 seconds, showing this video from the combine where it was Brandon Beane. Look at this. He goes, I'm glad he ran that. When Keon Coleman ran a 40-yard dash time that underperformed, he goes, it'll help to get him. That's Brandon Beane at the combine months before saying, like, so, and what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
How about the fact that they've made 56 picks since Josh Allen's been there and only 2 have gone to the Pro Bowl, as opposed to the Ravens during that same time period, who have 9 picks that went to the Pro Bowl?
I never would have thought that you could have made the idea of coaching Josh Allen not attractive, because it is still a wildly attractive thing, and I do believe that great coach, great quarterback can overcome weird ownership situations. But my question it was a rough look today.
But Danny, has great coach, great quarterback already overcome maybe the limiting factor has been ownership?
It's certainly possible.
I just don't know how Brandon Beane escapes all of this. Because he's in charge of the roster, and we sat here and talk about the deficiencies in this roster. Like, I felt like they drastically undervalued Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. They had nobody in line to replace those guys. And when you look at their offense, you said it yourself, it's Jordan and Pippen, right? It's Allen and Cook. But all those guys, if those guys don't show up for the Buffalo Bills, this is a mid-team. We don't even talk about playoffs.
Willie, I can tell you exactly how it is. During the course of the season, as a head coach, you're doing all those jobs that you got to do to get the team ready, right. And that's how your time is spent. And you have very limited interaction with ownership because you allocate time, but the GM talks to them every single day. And every decision, every failure, every success is sculpted by the person he's having conversations with. So if you keep telling someone, hey, we got plenty of talent, we're underachieving, that's where the communication's coming from.
Right. It seemed like a power struggle behind the scenes between McDermott and Brandon Beane won. And when you see Pagula's judgment today at that press conference, I'm like, yikes. I did not realize it was quite as dysfunctional as that press conference.
Coaches are always going to see a guy on tape and stand on the table for him. Like, the GM has to believe as well.
That was a wild day in Buffalo.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.